Hello everybody, so my name is LaPretty and I'm the Dominican Voodoo Spiritualist, and today I'm going to be doing a video on the relationship between Anuel AA and Laury Saavedra. So Anuel AA has been very, very, very quiet. You guys know, like he's kind of been like a usual like routine where he will get into a relationship and then will be in a relationship for about 3 to 6 months, have a baby, and then he's off to another relationship all over again. But with Laury Saavedra, she's way different than Yailin. She's a little bit older than he is, way more sophisticated than Yailin was. And she seems to have like in Will AA more tamed or trained because he's not out in the public like at all. Like you'll see them like at Disney World, you'll see them eating out at dinner, you might see them like at home. And she's very strategic with how like pictures are taken, how paparazzi is done. It's like it seems like the relationship is more on her terms and less on his. But let's look and see what kind of relationship do they have. So ancestors of Laury, when it comes to his relationship with Laury Saavedra, please give the people of YouTube an accurate look into this relationship. Yeah, this relationship is very quiet, but I am picking up like subtle danger. So she does seem to be very controlling. Like this relationship is not fast paced. It was never really fast paced because this relationship kind of formed over time. This is more so of like one of his connections. And I want to say it was like a business connection that made them like meet up or get together, or however you want to call it. They got together because somebody knew somebody that they both knew and they just so happened to like cross paths. But yeah, I'm picking up like subtle danger in this relationship. So she's more so kind of controlling him. What he does, what he says, where he goes, and what he does with who, what, when, where, and why. So yeah, this relationship kind of gradually grew over time. And it just kind of like gradually grew based on her terms, like what I want, what he wants, what he should want, how things should be done in a committed relationship, and so on and so forth. So she's like the guide of this relationship. I'm picking up where this relationship is. I want to say it. There's like a guise of protection, but not that much. Because I know like in well AA and Lori, they like to present themselves as very Christian, but they're not as Christian as they like portray themselves to be. Because I'm not seeing where this relationship is really like Christian or like any type of spiritual protection at all. It's mainly more so private than spiritually guarded. So yeah, this relationship is not really as spiritually protected. So, but let's see why has NOAA been so quiet? Because it just seems like ever since he's gotten with Lori, they're very secretive. They're very behind the scenes. It's like we're out today, then we're behind the scenes the next day. And anytime paparazzi tries to get any type of pictures or anything, they can't get nothing. They only get like a glimpse or a little bit, and then they got to get out. So let's see why has NOAA been so quiet? I'm picking up like fatigue. He's tired of like the limelight. He's tired of like the industry. He's kind of tired of like the fast lifestyle that comes with it. Now he enjoys the money, but he more so wants to like keep his cool and like stick to his like familiarity, stick to his people, stick to his family, or like stick to what he's familiar with at the moment. But he is cooking up something like a new business idea, a new business venture. I'm picking up like a new shoe line or a shoe deal because he did have a shoe line with, I want to say it was Nike because I remember I actually have the shoes because I remember he came out with a line. I think it was Nike or Adidas. It was one of them, and it was like white, pink, and like lime green. He had like the muscle shirt. Then he had, I think he had like a jersey shirt and a regular shirt, and then he had the sneakers, which were like the white, the pink, and the black, and the like lime green. and then they had like the Puerto Rico flag like on the tongue of the shoe. So he did have like that partnership or that deal or whatever. But I do see where he's trying to create something of his own. So he is thinking about creating his own shoe line or some type of floral design line. So I want to say it has something to do with like flowers or some type of floral design. But I'm really just picking up like shoes. Shoes is more so what his focus is. Because NYA is very fashionable. Like before Miri became like super, super popular, he was one of like the first artists I saw wearing a Miri, especially like the Amiri blouse tops and the sweaters and the shirts, and then like Chris Brown started wearing Amiri, and then Mojo Brooks, the comedian, started wearing like a lot of Amiri sweaters and tops and things like that. So yeah, he's starting to get more into fashion, more into like looks and clothes, and like less into music, because I want to say like the music scene has kind of more so faded for him, and he's trying to come into like a new era where he's like less conceited, more humble. He's kind of like more calm, and he's just more like focused and more so focused and more so just kind of like focusing on him and like his businesses and his purpose. But I do see where I'm picking up where there's some type of like there seems to be some type of distraction. I'm picking up where it's like a man, and I'm not trying to say he's gay or anything like that. So, YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not factual. This is just, a tarot card reading where I'm channeling, the energy. But I do see where there's like a male figure or some type of male role playing a part, like in his demise or playing a part in his like distraction or dysfunction or confusion. So I'm picking up where there's like a male, and I'm picking up where it's like really dominant. It's somebody who's trying to like get in his ear, or somebody who's trying to distract him, or somebody who's trying to kind of like make it so he won't come out with the shoe deal or he won't get the shoe deal. So there's a distraction or somebody trying to persuade him away from his goals or from his dreams. But I do see where he is going to get a lot of power, more so, a lot of recognition. But he's also going to get some business deals. So instead of him doing like music, reggaeton, and like rapping and things like that, he's going to focus on being like a businessman or like an executive or somebody who's moving more so behind the scenes. But let's look at the relationship that he has with Lori, because I'm going to look and see if they're married, because I know they've been in like this long drawn out relationship and they just had a baby almost a year ago. And let's see if they're married. The answers live in when it comes to Laury Saavedra. Are they married? I do see where yes they are married, but there's a lot of like disfocus on the relationship as a whole, and just more so like on the businesses, because she's a lot older than he is. Because as we can see, she's way different than Yailin Masvidal. She's way different than like the other baby mama that he had, whose daughter, he wasn't really trying to claim like that until she embarrassed him in like the interviews, and then he has been with, I'm not sure who else he's been with before Yai Lin, but I know that she's way different than the other women he was married to that he dated or whatever. But I do see where she's not focused so much on the marriage or on the relationship. She's more so focused on like his money and his like businesses and his deals, or like what it is that he has to do in order to become like this mogul or like this powerhouse or like this executive head. Because I do see where she's trying to get him to be like the Puerto Rican Jay-Z, somebody of that caliber, like billionaire status and stuff. Because she just seems to be very like mogul oriented, goal oriented, and things like that. Because as we can see, she's made of money. Like with Yailin, it was different because he more so had to make her. Because when Yailin came out, she was struggling. She was looking like Nicki Minaj. She was looking like some of the girls from Love and Hip Hop. She was just looking like everybody but herself and her career. really didn't have too much of a focus. But when she got married to Anuel, he kind of built her up and structured her in like the reggaeton scene. But with this woman, she was already like self-made in a way, and so he kind of just was able to come into the relationship instead of building a relationship like he did with Yailin. Now, I did see like a clip on Instagram where Yailin did say that he still doesn't have anything to do with his daughter, that he's not taking care of his daughter, and this is the daughter that looks just like him, like completely identical to him. So let's see what is his relationship like with his kids. Okay, ancestors when it comes to his kids that he has with other women outside Laury Saavedra, does he have a relationship with them? He's not really trying to like see them like that because he's more so like they're just kids. Because the relationship and the connection that he has with his kids, and it's just like real murky. It's like, yeah, I'll talk to them on the phone from time to time. Yeah, I may come by and see them and play with them a little bit, and I'm off to like doing my own life and my own business and spending time with like my new wife and our baby, but I'm not really concerned like that. So there's not a lot of effort involved here, and there's really not a lot of push here either from the new wife. She more so just sits back in the cut and like, okay, I'll let you do you, blah blah. But then when you come home to me, like we got to be about our stuff. So their relationship household is very structured, and I'm picking up where it's more so kind of demonized because, and Will has a lot of babies. He has the son from his first marriage, from when he was really really young before he blew up. Then he has a baby with the baby mama that he didn't want to claim. Then he has a baby with Yai Lin, and then he has a new baby with his new wife. So he has four babies by four different women. But it seems as though his baby mama-ish ways have been demonized a lot. Because I did do a reading on him like 2 or 3 years ago when he had the baby by the Colombian woman. And he kind of like didn't want to acknowledge that baby because, well, Yaya and Lynn, they were married. So that baby was made in marriage. And with his first wife, that baby was made in marriage. But with the Colombian baby mama, she was just like a jump off, like a one time thing or whatever. He kind of didn't want to claim that more so, but she just kept pushing, like, this is your child, this is your daughter, you need to claim her, da da da. So he did. And he more so did it to save face because he didn't want to look like a bad guy or like somebody who wasn't responsible or didn't take care of his kids. Like, you would be amazed, and I've even noticed this in real life. It amazes me how people who claim to be so called Christian will live like people who don't know God. And then it's like as soon as their sins get exposed or their sins get pushed on them for them to be accountable, they're like, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And it's like they don't claim it until they're like relationships, friendships, or their reputation is at stake. And that's what I'm seeing here with NWA. So he seems to be like a very structured person. He's more so about marriage. He's more so about commitment and love and family and things of that nature. But when it comes to his like deviances, he likes to keep that in the background, like a secret where only like he and the other person involved would know about. So yeah, when it comes to like his relationships and stuff with his kids, it's kind of murky in the water, and he doesn't really put in too much effort. He's not really that involved, and this is not making any of them happy like at all. It's like they kind of wanted to have like a family more so with him, and they kind of wanted to, be with him so there could be a connection with the kids. But it just seems like he's not doing it as much as he was before, and it seems like it was because his star status was more in the limelight because in the past like 3 years he was very like famous, very popular because he had a couple of songs that were like the top Latin songs in like Latin America and in the United States. And then I remember he did a tour. It was called Hasta la Muerte or something like that because I remember I went to it. And yeah, he was really big around that time, and I think he did it to try to save face or to like save his image. But yeah, he's not putting in that much effort into it now. Cause it's like my light's kind of dimmed. I'm laying back. I'm not really doing too much, so I don't feel the need to save face. And I'm gonna see if his wife Lori is behind it, cause I got a feeling she is. Okay, ancestor from low A. When it comes to Laury, is she behind him not seeing his kids as frequent or often? Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's like the boss of the household. She's very standoffish and she puts her foot down like really hard and harsh when it comes to him. And this really doesn't really make her happy because she sees it as like a smudge on their relationship. And you would think like, okay, you knew who you was getting with, or you knew you married before you got married, but it's like she doesn't care. She's like, I hate the fact that you have all these different babies with all these different women, and here I am, being your wife and your woman, and we have this structured lifestyle, and you got the smudge and like the baby mamas popping up all the time. So, and Yailin, like I said, she was an ex-wife and not a baby mama, but she doesn't care. She's like, I don't care if they were a wife, girlfriend, whatever. Like, you're mine, you're my husband, and it should be about us. But yeah, she's not really happy about his past kids that much. And she doesn't really know what to do about it at all, but to just sit there and to like deal with it because she tries to come up with ways to try to like block him from seeing them or to try to block them out. But it kind of brings on a little bit of discomfort because there's this in denial that's going on. It's like this bubble going on of what he did and who he was before she decided to be with him. Okay, so what's going to be the longevity of this relationship or this marriage between Will and Laury? I'm seeing some puppetry going on here. I don't know why that word just popped out, but I'm hearing puppet. It's like she's the one that's keeping this relationship intact. And she's trying to be like very low key, like too outlandish, not too out there, not too standoffish and whatnot. But I'm gonna look like $1 million. I'm gonna look like star status. I'm gonna look powerful and intriguing. But she's not really gonna like come up off of this as much as she says she was or says she is, because people more so see her as a bitch. I hate to say it, but they do. Like on the outside world, like in the community, as far as like the rap community, or like and this is more so coming from the fans, the colleagues, the people that he knows and whatnot in the industry, they more so respect it. But it's like the fans are saying, like, you're keeping him away from us. Like, where's the tea? Where's the juice, the flavor, that we used to get from seeing him out all the time? But she's very like, no, we're going to turn that down. We're not going to be partying. You're not going to get into like juicy details on stuff that's going on and what we're doing, like you did with Yailin and Masvidal. So we're going to keep that more so in the cut under wraps is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so let's see what else is there to this relationship. So this is when it comes to his career as well as like what else is going on in his life. What seems to be on his mind of what he's going to experience as far as career visa wise. I'm getting like early retirement. Yeah, I'm getting like more so early retirement because it's like he more so like has his kids. He wants to kind of like tough things out with them, even though he doesn't really see them as much. But it seems like there's going to be some rekindled relationships going on later on the line with the kids. But I do see early retirement coming in. He's going to more so do something like what Chris Brown did with the Breezy Bowl. And this is something that he needs to do because it's like closing out a cycle. So I do see him closing out a cycle where he is going to like gather up all the music that he's done since like 20, I think he came out in like 2015, 2016, because he was like in and out of jail. He kind of had like some rough stuff going on where he kind of started rapping and things like that. And then he got, locked up, went to jail, I think for about a year. And I think he was doing music in jail. And he had an album that sold really well while he was in jail. Then when he came out, he had to jump back into the industry and keep going like with music and stuff. Then, like in 2018, they had to be like Latin Explosion, where reggaeton music music became like mainstream and on the map. And so he's gonna kind of like go from start to finish with this tour. So I do see where he is gonna do a tour, kind of like what Chris Brown did, is like a farewell goodbye tour as far as like early retirement, because he sees like this is something he needs to close out. He owes the fans this. He feels like he owes it to himself because this is what made him. This is what grew him, and this is pretty much what started his like success story. But I do see where love is going to be put on the forefront. I'm going to see, I get a feeling where it's going to be more so love, more so from his kids or for his kids. But I'm also picking up like human nature. Like he is a lover guy when you think about it. Like, yeah, he may come off as like this hardcore rapper, the delinquent, the lover boy, the playboy, the player in his songs, because his songs are, he do have a lot of good bops, but they tend to be like very vulgar. Like I said in the Bad Bunny video, a lot of people think, oh, I'm dancing, doing a bachata, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you really spoke Spanish and understood this stuff, you would see it as like the same stuff that like NBA YoungBoy raps about, or like what Kodak Black, or like the Baby, and who else is on my mind as far as rappers? Future, like they be rapping about all, like Lil Baby, they be rapping about like all types of little stuff, and sometimes it's a tad bit more vulgar in a way sometimes than the hip hop stuff is. So yeah, he's gonna more so focus on like family, love, structure, and like his kids. So he wants to be like this big, like huggable teddy bear. I'm saying like deep down inside, he doesn't want to come off as somebody who's too harsh and too hard and just too like unreachable, somebody that can't be untouchable. And I'm picking up where he is gonna more so break off from this like marriage, because I keep hearing breaking off from like a covenant or some type of agreement, where he is gonna break off from the marriage, but it's not gonna be a divorce, but he's more so gonna like branch out of his shell. Because I'm picking up this wife, she is like hovering over him, or like covering him, and almost kind of like using him as like a puppet from what I see. But yeah, this wife, she could be a little domineering in a way, as far as like molding and shaping him into who she wants him to be, instead of him being himself. So I do see him branching out into like his own person and being okay with that, and then her eventually becoming confident and being okay with that. But let's see if there's any type of spiritual. And well, hey, he's a very spiritual person. He's very in tune with God. He's very in tune with like the divine. But let's see if he's into any other things. Let's see. He still believes in God, but he doesn't really practice too much. Hey, Essence Imani. He still believes in God. He doesn't really like practice too much of anything. So he is a Christian, but I am picking up his Spiritismo. So no, I'm not saying that because it's Puerto Rican, and I know all Puerto Ricans do not practice Espiritismo, but I do see where he does still tap in with Espiritismo a little bit. I'm seeing more so of like Mesa Blanca, more so like Misas from time to time, but not too much. He does more so like to keep in touch with his ancestors. So I do see like with his ancestors, he likes to keep in contact with them and keep in touch. And I'm picking up is more so like the black side. Like to those of you who don't know about Nwoye and how he is, he's always talked about being a black Puerto Rican. He's always talked about like how he's black and white, in Hispanic terms. Because like in Latin America, they have, your nationality is first and your race is second. So like he he was born in Puerto Rico. His mom, I think, was born in Milwaukee, and his dad was born in Puerto Rico. But his mom is like a white Spanish Puerto Rican lady, and his dad is like a black Puerto Rican. And his dad really is black. Like his dad is not one of them like light skin, white skin, Puerto Ricans that say, "Oh, I'm black." And when you go down their family tree, you can't find anybody, but you can't find anybody black unless you go all the way back to the slaves. But no, his dad is like black, like brown, just like me. So he is a black Puerto Rican, and he's talked about that a lot. in like his interviews, because there's an interview that he did with Big Boy where he talked about him being a black Puerto Rican. He talked about his mom being from Milwaukee, his dad being from Puerto Rico, and so on and so forth. But yeah, and Will A is a black Puerto Rican. He's always talked about it. Um, but yeah, I do see where he does practice the spiritismo a little bit, but not too much. He does more so keep in contact with his black side or his dad's side. And he more so keeps in contact with them to kind of like stay in touch or to connect with his roots, especially with his spiritismo roots on his black side. I don't know why they keep saying black side, his dad's side. And I'm picking up is more so because of a woman who was in his family, who was kind of like a spiritista, more like mambo, or kind of like a big mama or like a grandmother kind of spirit. So yeah, there was a female spirit in his like, there's a female spirit in the spiritual realm who was his grandmother. Yeah, I'm picking up where he had a grandmother spirit on his dad's side or some type of elder female lady who was very close to him when he was growing up, or very close to him in the spirit. And she kind of covers over him. She protects him a lot. So yeah, he does keep in contact with his spirits from like his dad's side. And you know, he is Christian, you know, he's proud to be Christian, but he does still tend to those roots and things like that. So yeah, he sticks to what he knows and what he remembers. Let's look into Yailin Lamasvidal because she has blown up a little bit because she had a song called Bing Bong that was really popular on TikTok. And I think she had another song that was popular on TikTok about maybe 2 years ago. So let's look and see what his relationship is like with Yailin or how she feels. I'm picking up where she's really bitter. Yeah, I get bitter vibes. I get jealous, hater vibes from her. There, because I'm going to look into that too, because they always say that she put a love spell on him because she is into like the roots and the 21 divisions and things like that. Because there's an old video. There's this popular mambo in the Dominican Republic. Her name is La Gerta, and she is like the child of Santa Marta. Like every time you see her, she'll be in like big gaudy like jewelry. She'll have like a lot of these gold, like gaudy chains and rings and stuff on her fingers. And she'll be sitting in like her, like, I don't want to say cave, but it's more so like her altar space, but it kind of looks like a cave. And it'll have like this big, huge statue of like Santa Marta. But she does work with a lot of famous people. She works with a lot of celebrities and what she does because currently in the Dominican Republic, her and this other mambo in the DR known as Carol Gumuna, they're like the most two popular mambos in the DR when it comes to the 21 divisions. But yeah, I'm picking up what she is bitter. Yailin Lamasvidal is very bitter. She's bitter more so because it didn't work out between her and Anuel like she said it would, or like she predestined that it would. More so in like a tarot card reading and things like that. So it's more so like her brushing her spirits off or brushing these deities off because she felt like she was lied to when she was dealing with the stuff with NWA. And I remember she made a song calling him like a narcissist where she dressed up in like this big red like dress in the video and she had like a look-alike in AA and she was calling him like, oh, you're a narcissist, you only think about yourself, you know, I have feelings, you don't care about mine. But yeah, so she's more so kind of bitter because of how things turned out between him and her. But there is an opening gate coming up, more so for them to open up and for them to communicate and for them to kind of like get better at their relationship as far as like their connections and how they feel about one another and how they feel about each other and how they feel about the whole relationship or the dynamic of like the kids and who's going to see who and how each other is going to connect. Let's look into the Colombian baby mama that he has. I know she has a name. I'm going to look her up. Melissa Vallecilla. So that's the one. That's the one who has a daughter, Gianella, with. So let's look into Melissa. Let's see what's going on with Melissa. She's not really too worried about it. She knows that she has to do what she has to do. She's more so like moving on from it. She's getting over it. She's getting by it, getting past it. She is moving forward and, getting along and getting ahead. But she's not too phased by it because she knows like who he is and what he is, but she's kind of like not really moved by how he is and how he's seeing things because she's like used to his like shenanigans or whatever you want to call it before, because she's used to like the publicity stunt, because she knows like anytime he wants to connect with Gianella or his other kids, there's like cameras and like people around making him look like he's a good father when she knows that he's like really not. So other than that, she's moving forward. She's getting ahead and she knows that she has to do what she has to do. But I do see where she's getting involved with someone else or a new relationship. So she's not really too worried about and what. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I have for today. So I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to love, like, share, subscribe, and leave positive comments in the comment section. If you want to book a read with me, feel free to email me at the Dominican Voodoo Spiritualist, all lowercase letters, at gmail.com, and have a good day.